Alright gang, here's the 86 560 SL, 140,000 miles. Did a spark plug change. You can tell the car was running really rich. So there's one. Not only running rich, but personally I think the tips were getting really burnt. So that gap there is off, but I could be totally wrong. Anyway, these are NGKs. And the replacement plugs were like 50 bucks. You know, I thought about putting the Bosch in, but it ran well on the NGKs, so let's stick with what works. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm down to 1 gauge. Don't you love it? I'm down to the economy gauge. So, and I'll tell you, this car, you've got to warm it up. Even if it's a hot day, you got to still warm it up to get the airflow and the heat going right for the engine, and then it runs like it should. So about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks, I did a video on it. The car rained heavy duty outside. It rained on those little grills right there, and the water had set off the horn, so the horn was just blasting in the middle of a heavy duty rainstorm. And the headlights were on and the taillights were on, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. I figured this panel here got, where the fuses are, I figured that got wiped out, but that was not the case. It had got water on the alarm relay, which is right underneath where I'm pointing, and then in front of that is your fuel relay. But the farthest one out there towards the firewall is the alarm relay. And so the car's been covered with the cheapo tarp, so it don't get rain down there again. We're not going through that again. And I would say about a month, 6 weeks, and it dried up enough so that you could fire it up without the horn going off and the taillights and the headlight going on. So yeah, I mean, that could be a real major headache if you're not aware that could happen. So, never happened before. Seems to be idling really nice. I've seemed to have lost the key lock ability on this, so that's the next thing to address. So yeah, you move you put the key in. Put the key in, rotate clockwise and then counterclockwise, and that's supposed to undo the alarm. It seemed to help, but in the process it caused the door lock to fail. So I never lock my doors, just steal whatever you want. Yeah, so there we are, new plugs. Seems to be idling nicely. What I like to do is put a little bit of grease, just like a teardrop on the thread of the spark plug, and then just slide them into place. And then just spin them in by hand, and then when you get as far as you can go by hand, then tighten it down with the ratchet. And nothing outrageous. We're not going for torque here. We're just installing it, because otherwise you could have a real big mess on your hands with stripped plug threads going into the engine, right? Not sure how to phrase that, but it's still lots of small work. Gotta fuck with that thing, replace that. Let me tell you something, the sign of a shitty mechanic that works on your car, they lose nuts and bolts. They don't put them back on. I usually have a magnetic tray, put all my shit in the magnetic tray. Just get the new master cylinder. It needs these little $10 caps. They're gone. Didn't have to change the booster because it was going right to the floor. If you have a failing booster, My experience is the pedal is really hard. It's just, so yeah, but in this case the booster was okay. So it has kind of a surging thing that's going on right now. And yeah, what a relief, got all the plugs in. What else can we look at? But yeah, I just want to do a quick video on once it dries up, then all that horn phenomenon goes away. And there's my battery. I got it on the battery charger today just to get it 100%. And I like to have my own tool set for each car that I have, so I don't have to look all over the place for it. Yeah. And yeah, so I got a guy in 6 months when he's available. He's going to do the cluster for me. Yeah, if I can find somebody that'll do it for me for a good price, well, not just a good price, but somebody that'll do it for me, because that's a job, you know. And I'd rather just pay somebody that's got experience with it, you know, than me just doing it one time and never doing it again. Yeah, so it's idling really nice right now. You can see that hose is torn over there and needs to be taped up. These little wing nuts for the Mercedes are kind of difficult to find. I guess you can just use anything, but if you want to have the originals, it'd be a little bit more difficult to find. But yeah, to me that is the sign of a piss poor mechanic, where they're missing the small details. But whatever, that's how it is. What a relief. It's back to running again. But those plugs were black. Those were black. A lot of current went through them. So I worked on what was it, a Chevy Cavalier a while back. And man, that car, 100 some odd thousand miles, had the original plugs in it. They never maintained it. And swapped the plugs out for some really nice new plugs and fired right up, and the little car seems to run okay. But that's where we're at. Cluster needs service, door handle locking needs service, maybe just some seat covers. It's this kind of damage from being in Southern California and Denver, and yeah, that damaged the paint. I had to sand most of it down. That was really bad, and then primered it. This is just a driver. I'm not looking for, you know, some pretty mobile. But I got to say, this car has got unbelievable acceleration, and so it looks like it's back in service. Yeah, so with the gas gauge out, this is like a little kid's operation. You put in, say, 3 gallons, 4 gallons, whatever. I figure 15 miles per gallon, so drive at 60, 70 miles. I always carry like a little spare can of gas, just in case I'm over how many miles I'm driving. That little gas can's like an old school West German, East German gas can. People on eBay or Scambay try to pass them off as World War II, but they're not. They're West German, East German. I think a lot of those cans were made in Eisenach and Dresden, but I'm not sure. Anyway, gang, there it is. The guy put these Pirellis on it, and then he didn't really drive the car. So what do you do there? Then this guy's loose. Little smalls, you know. It's a great car. If you're buying a 107 series, get a 560. Well, even if it's a couple grand more, just get the 560. It's a much bigger engine. It's the top of the line for that series, and it's well worth the few dollars more. And but I'm kind of like, that gas cap to me is like that's like a truck gas cap, isn't it? And it's a great car. It's a great learning experience. I'm going to take really good care of it. And right there you can see tells you your tire pressure and your VIN number and all that. And Just a neat old car. All these dashes are always blown to bits. So I'm gonna have to start driving this a lot more because my truck blew the cam seals and leaked oil like you wouldn't believe. I put these little check oil levels just to make sure I'm vigilant, and so I did that with the truck, and one day it was just leaking like a sieve real bad, and shit, I put 2 quarts in it, and I thought it was the power steering. Well, no, it wasn't. It was the cam seals. They blew out. So 275,000 miles. So that'll be the next big project, which ain't gonna get done for a while. So anyway, gang, there it is. I'll probably do some dog videos soon. It's so damn depressing doing those because you know, those assholes are just killing as many as they can because they choose to. So yeah, it's not a crisis, it's a crisis of sick fucking people. That's what it is. Anyway, gang, we'll catch you on next YouTube.